Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new lesson. Before we begin today's lesson, I would like you to think about a simple question. Imagine that I have been asked to write a single sentence that describes you. Not your major, not your occupation, not your age, not your GPA, not your accomplishments, but just one sentence that answers the question, who are you? What would that sentence say? Take a moment and think about it. Most people find this question surprisingly difficult, not because they do not know themselves, of course not, but because they often confuse who they are with what they do. Many people answer by listing roles like student, employee, parent, athlete, teacher, friend, but pay attention, roles can change while character remains. You can change jobs, you can move to another city, you can graduate, you can retire, yet certain qualities remain with you wherever you go. Your determination, your compassion, your resilience, your curiosity, your integrity. And that realization reveals the true purpose of the adjective essay. The adjective essay is not really about adjectives, but it is about character. Most specifically, it is about discovering the qualities that define you and proving those qualities through experiences. Because anyone can write an adjective, but few writers can prove it. And that leads us to the most important idea in today's lesson. Your adjectives introduce you, while your stories convince us. Keep that idea in mind because we will return to it throughout today's presentation. By the end of this lesson, you will know what an adjective essay really is, how to discover meaningful adjectives, how to find evidence for those adjectives, how to avoid common mistakes, and how to build a strong thesis statement. Let's begin. To help us understand the adjective essay, I want to introduce you to Maya. Maya is a first-year college student. She works part-time. She hopes to become a nurse. When Maya receives an adjective essay assignment, she thinks it will be easy. After all, she knows herself, or at least she thinks she does. When she begins brainstorming, she writes, I am a nursing student. I work part-time. I enjoy spending time with my family. I like helping people. At first glance, these statements seem reasonable, but Maya quickly realizes something. These statements describe part of her life. They do not explain who she is. Her instructor is not asking her to describe her schedule. Her instructor is asking her to describe her character. Throughout today's lesson, we will help Maya discover the qualities that truly define her. And in doing so, we will learn how to write our own adjective essay. Before Maya can identify those qualities, she first needs to understand what an adjective essay actually is. Imagine an iceberg. When we look at an iceberg, we only see a small portion above the water, but most of it remains hidden below the surface. People are remarkably similar. Above the surface are the things others notice immediately. Your occupation, your major, your hobbies, your age, your interests. These things tell us something about you, but they do not tell us everything. Below the surface lies something much more important. Your values, your personality, your character, your traits. The adjective essay explores that hidden portion. It asks a simple but powerful question. What qualities make you who you are? Unlike many academic essays that focus on issues, topics, or arguments, the adjective essay focuses on the writer. In other words, the subject of the essay is you. However, the goal is not simply to just list adjectives. The goal is to identify meaningful qualities and then prove those qualities through specific experiences. And this brings us to one of the most important distinctions in the entire assignment, the difference between roles and characters. Let's return to Maya. At the beginning of the assignment, she described herself as a student, an employee, a daughter, a friend. Those descriptions are not wrong, but they are incomplete. A role tells us what you do. A character tells us who you are. For example, a student might be determined, an employee might be responsible, an athlete might be disciplined, a parent might be compassionate. Notice that the role can change, but the quality often remains. This distinction changes the way we think about the adjective essay. The assignment is not asking what roles do you play. It is asking what qualities help you succeed in those roles. Once we understand the difference, the next challenge becomes identifying the adjectives that truly define us. Many students ask, how do I know which adjective describe me? The answer begins with a surprising realization. Strong writers do not start with adjectives. Strong writers start with evidence. Think of yourself as a detective. A detective does not begin with a conclusion. A detective begins with clues. The same principle applies to the adjective essay. Let's look at Maya. She writes down 3 important experiences: a challenge, moving to a new city; an accomplishment, balancing work and school; a meaningful experience, helping care for her grandmother after surgery. Now, let's ask a different question. What qualities helped Maya navigate those situations? Moving to a new city may reveal adaptability. Balancing work and school may reveal determination, while helping care for her grandmother may reveal compassion. Notice what happened? The experiences came first, but the adjectives emerged from the experiences. This is exactly how you should approach your own essay. Let's practice that process ourselves. Pause the video for a second and grab a sheet of paper. Then answer the following questions. What are 3 accomplishments that make you proud? What are 3 challenges you have overcome? What are 3 experiences that taught you an important lesson? Write your answers down. Now, look for patterns. Ask yourself, what qualities helped me succeed? What qualities helped me overcome difficulties? What qualities appear repeatedly throughout my experiences? Those recurring qualities often become your strongest adjectives. adjectives. In many cases, students discover the focus of their essay during this particular activity. Now that we have identified possible adjectives, we need to understand why adjectives alone are not enough. Imagine walking through a movie theater. You see a movie poster. The poster describes the main character as brave, compassionate, determined, loyal. Would you automatically believe those descriptions? Of course not. You would need to watch the movie. The movie proves evidence. The scenes prove the claims. The adjective essay works exactly the same way. The adjectives are the poster. Your experiences are the movie, and the body paragraphs are the scenes. Readers do not believe adjectives. Readers believe evidence. And that brings us to our central idea. Your adjectives introduce you, but your stories convince us. Well, unfortunately, many students stop at the poster. Let's examine what happens when they do that. At this point, Maya feels confident. She has identified several adjectives like resilient, compassionate, determined, and she starts writing. And her essay begins like this: I'm resilient, I'm compassionate, I'm determined. Can you see the problem? These statements identify the adjectives, but they do not prove them. Imagine that someone walked into a courtroom and said, I'm innocent. Would that statement alone be enough? Well, of course not. Claims require evidence. The same principles apply to writing. If you claim that you are resilient, compassionate, or determined, readers need proof. They need experiences. They need stories. And that leads us directly to one of the most important concepts in writing. Well, at this point, Maya has determined several adjectives that describe her. However, she now faces the biggest challenge of the entire assignment. How can she convince readers that these adjectives are actually true? This is where we encounter one of the most important concepts in writing, which is showing versus telling. Let's begin with a simple question. Imagine that I tell you, I'm compassionate. Should you automatically believe me? Probably not. After all, anyone can make that claim. Every student in this class could write the exact same sentence. The problem is that labels are not convincing. Readers want evidence. Readers want examples. Readers want proof. Remember our movie poster analogy? The adjective is the poster. The experience is the movie. The movie is what convinces the audience. The same principle applies to your essay. When you tell, you simply name a quality. When you show, you demonstrate that quality through actions, experiences, and details. Let's compare three versions. The first version is a weak one. I'm resilient because I never give up. Now, let's revise it and make it a little bit better. I'm resilient because I continued studying after failing an important exam. But we can do even better than that. After failing an important exam, I felt discouraged and questioned my abilities. However, I created a study schedule, sought help from my professor, and eventually passed the course. That experience taught me that resilience is not avoiding failure, but continuing despite it. Notice here the difference. The final version allows readers to witness resilience in action. Readers can see the challenge. Readers can see the effort. They can see the growth. And because they can see it, they're more likely to believe it. This idea becomes one of the guiding principles of the adjective essay. Do not simply tell readers who you are. Show it to them. Or, as we have said throughout this lesson, your adjectives introduce you, but your stories convince us. Well, at this point, some students become concerned. They think, well, Professor, that sounds great, but I do not have any interesting stories. Well, let's address that concern next. One of the biggest misconceptions about personal writing is the belief that meaningful essays require dramatic experiences. Students often think, I have never done anything extraordinary. I have never climbed a mountain. I have never traveled the world. I do not have an exciting story. And truth is that great adjective essays are rarely about extraordinary events. They are about ordinary experiences that reveal meaningful qualities. Think about Maya. Her experiences are not extraordinary. She moves to a new city, she works while attending school, she helped care for her grandmother. These are experiences that actually many people can relate to. Yet those experiences reveal important qualities: resilience, compassion, determination. The experience itself does not have to be extraordinary. What matters is the quality it reveals. In fact, readers often connect more strongly with ordinary experiences because they feel authentic and relatable. Remember, the goal of the adjective essay is not to impress readers with dramatic stories. The goal is to help readers understand your character. And character is often revealed through everyday experiences. Well, now that Maya understands that her experiences are valuable, she's ready for the final step of the pre-writing process. She needs to transform those experiences and qualities into a thesis statement. Let's review Maya's journey so far. So, she identified important experiences from her life. She moved to a new city, she balanced work and school, she helped care for her grandmother. Now, she examined those experiences and identified the qualities they revealed. Moving to a new city revealed resilience. Helping her grandmother revealed compassion. Balancing work and school revealed determination. Now, she's ready to create a thesis statement. Remember, a thesis statement is the roadmap for the essay. It tells readers what qualities they should expect to see developed throughout the paper. Let's compare two examples. Let's look at a weak thesis statement. I'm nice, hardworking, and smart. Although there is nothing grammatically wrong with these sentences, it has several problems. The adjectives are vague, the statement lacks depth, and it tells readers very little about the writer. Now, let's consider a revised version where we have a stronger thesis statement. Throughout my life, Resilience, compassion, and determination have shaped the way I approach challenges, relationships, and personal growth. Notice the difference here. The adjectives are more specific. The statement sounds more mature. The sentence establishes a clear focus. Most importantly, it creates a roadmap for the rest of the essay. Each adjective will become a body paragraph. Each body paragraph will contain evidence that proves the adjective. This is exactly how strong adjective essays are built. Experiences lead to adjectives. Adjectives lead to a thesis, and the thesis leads to the essay. Well, at this point, Maya has completed the pre-writing stage. She has identified meaningful experiences, she has discovered the qualities those experiences reveal, and she has transformed those qualities into a thesis statement. Now, she's ready to begin writing. In part 2, we will move from planning to drafting as we learn how to write the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion of the adjective essay.